So, Kay and I together are going to be doing a play by a playwright who we've done many, many times at BLT over the years, but we've never done this one. So we're really excited that we're going to be doing this for the first time. Written by a playwright in the 1950s, and it was probably, according to all accounts, his last really successful play before he kind of fell out of popularity for a few years. It ran in the West End for 2 years, it was nominated for lots of Oscars, David Niven won the Best Actor award, and so the play that we are doing in May is by Terence Rattigan, and it's called Separate Tables. And over to Kate on the characters and the story.
Okay, so the Separate Tables, as Hilary said, is 2 one-act plays pushed together, and both of them set in the same Bournemouth, and it's called a private hotel. I think in the 50s, after the war, a lot of people were displaced and all that, and quite a number of people lived actually in these hotels. I suppose we'd call them boarding houses, whatever. I don't know if they're still in existence, but in the 1950s it was not uncommon to live in a hotel, if you obviously had the means. So the residents in this hotel are mostly permanent people and regard the hotel as their home. The first act deals with an ex-Labour MP. I'm not political, of course, but he was a Labour MP who has spent time in prison for assaulting his former wife. He now lives a very quiet life in this hotel. Virtual anonymity. I can never say that word. I did practice
Why
it,
would
and
you
I've
go and
forgotten
try and
it.
say
Yeah.
that? I said you don't
Yes,
say that. Just listen to me, this is how it's going to be.
Anonymity. Anyway, until his ex-wife arrives at the hotel, and he's thrown into an inescapable emotional turmoil. Now, the other residents in the hotel put in their bits what they think's going on, and of course, doing that, we get a glimpse of their previous lives during this first act. Okay, so that's the first act, and the 2 main characters in this play are only in Act 1. Then we go to Act 2, and we have 2 different main characters, and it focuses. It's still in the 1950s, and it's 18 months later in this hotel, and it focuses on a Major Pollock, who we find out actually isn't a major at all. He's made it up, and he's struck a rather curious friendship with the daughter of one of the elderly residents. And this resident has discovered that this Major Pollock has recently been arrested for molesting women in a cinema. Now, just as an aside for this, Terence Rattigan was homosexual, and he wanted in his play to somehow kind of make people aware that homosexuality was out there. But of course he couldn't actually say anything about homosexuality, otherwise his plays would be censored and he couldn't use it. But it's very thinly disguised, saying that he sort of molests women, and the astute, should I say, not acute, astute audience member would know that, what he was actually referring to. So, but this elderly resident whose daughter is has a sort of relationship with this Major Pollock, discovers this, and she delights in exposing him to the rest of the residents.
She's a cow.
Yeah. Yeah. And the residents take it upon themselves to decide what action they should take.